still kind of getting our footing. That's my almost kind of getting our footing. That's my
Let's
almost
see.
first kind of live stream I'm doing. That's my
Let's
almost
see.
first
Just
kind of live
testing this
stream
out.
I'm doing. That's my okay, good. We should be live now. I apologize with that. And yeah, I apologize for all the internet troubles, but yeah, we'll keep marching on and keep doing our thing. So just to kind of recap, um, you know, I started back in high school and programming in Java, and uh, I really loved it. I really fell in love with doing this for a living, and you really gotta do what you love and do what inspires you. Well, we already kind of spoke about that already. Um, I'm just kind of recapping because I'm afraid of what if we lost any of the previous live stream. But one of the you know it takes time to learn this stuff. At least for me, it took me a while to understand object-oriented programming and get into thinking the right way and getting used to all those things. Um, so getting back to what I was saying about copying code, it is a necessary thing to kind of do. You copy snippets of code, but you have to understand what you're copying. And we do that because we don't want to reinvent the wheel in a lot of cases. But this doesn't mean you can just copy an entire application's code and just put it into your project. Um, but my mentor told me, I was always hesitant to do that, and my mentor said, you got to get over doing that. You're reinventing the wheel each time, and you're spending time, doing stuff that's already out there. Because when you write new code, you have to test it as well, and you have to make sure it works for edge cases, and you have to make when an algorithm or some code is already out there and has gone through that, it saves you time. It saves you a tremendous amount of time. And once again, I'm sorry for the internet troubles that we were having earlier. Um, but yeah, think about what inspires you and why do you want to go into computer science? Whether it's making robots. I was inspired by Short Circuit a little bit. That movie with Johnny Five. I like that robot, and I started making robots out of cardboard too when I was a little kid. But I really love game development, and we were talking about that earlier with Final Fantasy VII being a huge inspiration for me. Um, and going into that. Um, yeah, this first live stream might be a little choppy, but we'll get there. We'll get there, and we'll continue to talk about some of these topics too. Um, and as we get more people, there might be more computer science questions or anything I can really help you guys out with if you're studying computer science in school, or even some math I might be able to help you with. Um, yeah, so feel free to ask questions if you have anything. Um, what else do I want to talk about? Oh, we can talk about hacking a little bit. Um, there are different. Excuse me. There are different types of. Just like there are people. Hackers can be a good person, a bad, malicious person, um, someone doing for the right reasons, and this is what's referred to as black hat and white hat hackers. So white hat is someone that usually works for a company and tries to do penetration testing, which is basically hacking into your own system to see how secure it is. One of the old sayings is you want to find out how secure your house is, lose the keys to your house. and get locked out. Um, Black hat hacking is what you guess, malicious hacking. Um, and then in between is gray hat, which most people consider themselves, if they're a hacker, they do, a little bit of both. But I don't do anything malicious, and I don't really partake in any of that stuff either. Um, but there's a lot of things you can do with hacking. There's a lot of interesting things, like you can use onset tools, which are open source network intelligence APIs and information to figure out data behind a phone number. Where is it registered, who owns it, stuff like that. You could use who is lookup to find out where a domain is registered, different stuff like that. A lot of information gathering, but a lot of hacking actually it's not like a lot of movies. Hackers actually got it pretty accurately, and the second Hackers is based on a true story. That one is real. Um, but a lot of movies kind of think it's kind of just like sitting at a computer and doing something, typing really fast and all that. But a lot of hacking actually ends up being like finding a password on a sticky note, and that's to a low level account, and then from there you socially engineer your way up to get higher and higher level access. Rick and Morty actually did an interesting episode on that, which is a good analogy of what you try to do when you're hacking. Dumpster diving, social engineering, stealing, criminal stuff. Obviously, some of it, but that's actually where a lot of hacking comes from: stolen passwords, or you hear about data breaches from different companies. Because for a while you used to be able to brute force passwords, but passwords in length and websites have put in things that make it very difficult to try to brute force a password. So what hackers now do is they rely on password dumps. They get into the database of a big company and then put all the passwords just on the internet, and their emails and data and all that stuff. So that's what a data breach is. Um, but these are just things to be aware of. Maybe and just like how warfare evolves over time, with swords and shields, then guns and plate armor and all. Internet warfare is similar. These things exist, and hopefully, in the future, there will be a lot of, there's a lot more awareness behind this stuff, and it'll change over time. Obviously, it'll be much more harder to be able to hack in general, as time goes on and as we rely on the systems, which I hope for. Um, I was hacked early in my career, uh, back when Gmail was first starting. Back then, yeah. So back then there was no one to like call, or no one to get in touch with or anything if you lost your account. But what are you gonna do? You live through interesting times. That's one of the oldest curses in the world. May you live in interesting times. Huh, makes things more interesting. um, but yeah, I want to go back to what we were talking about doing what you love. Um, I was watching Eddie Van Halen's Eruption solo recently on YouTube, and it's just absolutely incredible. And it just kind of reinforces the fact that you can't fake it. You can't just go through the motions. You gotta. It's not just practice. It's actually putting your emotion and your heart into what you do and what you love. And you can't really like just do something just because someone says, oh, you'll make a lot of money doing this, or you'll make a lot of money working in Silicon Valley. And it doesn't really work that way. You gotta kind of if you want to make money in what you do, you have to put in. You got to enjoy what you do, because that naturally you'll you'll do what it'll naturally come to you as wanting to put in the effort, and give you that fuel to keep going. Uh, what else do we want to talk about? Again, sorry for the internet problems and stuff like that. We'll try to get a handle on that. But it rained really bad today. Let me even take a look outside. I should open my window from once in a year. Oh yeah, there's stuff outside. It's like a tree. Yeah. So yeah, it rained a lot. So, and the wires here, we're still on old, copper and aluminum out where I am. No fiber yet. I know, no fiber. Um, but yeah, for now that's what we'll talk about. Well, yeah, we can talk a little bit more about my journey into computer science. So I went to Stony Brook after Nassau Community, and that really, that really did a number on me. But it was worth it. I'd do it again in a heartbeat if I had to. Well, it was rough, so I don't. I hopefully don't have to. But it's I don't regret doing it at all, and I'm glad I did, and I would do it again. Um, it's you learn a lot. You really learn a lot. People say like, oh, you don't need to go to college to learn programming and stuff. Well, maybe, but you're gonna be missing a lot of foundation. You're not really gonna appreciate what you're doing, and it's gonna be difficult. But there's and when you study computer science, there is a lot of really good stuff you'll learn, and a lot of stuff you can really make use of. Um, you know, I highly recommend it if you like sitting in front of a computer in an air conditioned room doing programming, and you know, and if you really like hackers and you really like making games, or if you're like I said, do what inspires you. You gotta do what you love and love what you do. And that's kind of the title of this. So, but that's all I really wanted to talk about as this first stream, and we'll keep doing more of these. I plan on live streaming me working on my game at some point too. Um, it it when you're working on a very big project, it becomes things kind of move kind of slow when you're working on it. So it might seem kind of slow paced at first, but we'll give it a shot. We'll do some live streams of that, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Take care, everyone.